kindergarten and first graders, I gave you a collage kit. So you're gonna find your kit might have different stuff than mine has. I tried to kind of distribute a lot of different things that we had kind of randomly through bags. So everybody got some colored paper and everybody got some white paper, and then you might have gotten different, like other different little special papers in your bag than what I have. So, and then you also have this little frame. So someone donated these frames a while ago and I haven't used them until now. So I thought this would be kind of a fun thing. So you could even make an art piece. You could make an art piece and put it in the frame and give it as a gift if you wanted to, or you could just keep it in your own room. So let's check out these frames first. We've got a base and we've got this part that kind of screws into the base, so you can put the base on and turn it righty-tighty. There we go. So now we have this frame that sits up like that. It's pretty cool. And we can see how our artwork will go in here. It slides up out of the top, doesn't it? Okay, so we'll slide that out. And this is kind of nice. There's these two plastic pieces that we can use maybe to put our artwork in between, and hopefully that'll help us be able to slide it in there nicely when we're ready. So if you want to make an art piece for your frame, the size that it needs to be is the size of this scrap paper or these plastic pieces. So what you could do right away is say, okay, I'm going to pick a piece of paper to be my base for my collage. So you can look through your papers and pick one that you want. So I think maybe I'll just start with this one. And I will trace this, because I know this is the size of my frame. I'm gonna trace this. Oh, look at that. That's like a perfect, I wonder if you'll have the same luck as me. That's the perfect width there. So now all I have to do is just trace like that. And then if you have scissors, you can cut along that line. If you don't have scissors, you can actually fold and tear. So I'll show you how to do that. You have to fold right along that line first, and that can be a little tricky. But you just try and line up your crease and you pinch it right where you drew that line. And then what I like to do is I press down with my finger or my fingernail really hard. And then I flip it and I fold it the other way. And I do the same thing. I press it down with my fingernail. And then I fold it again. So you do that a few different times. You can take your nail and go along it if you want to. You could take your glue stick and press it. And if you do that enough, you go back and forth, keep folding it back and forth. What you're gonna do is you're sort of damaging the paper right here, right where you're folding it. You're weakening it. So then you can kind of start to pull it apart and rip it, and it will rip right along that line. Isn't that cool? So if you don't have scissors, that's another way that you can cut paper, is by fold, 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 crease, 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 and then tear it, okay? So let's just see, does this look like it's gonna fit in here right now? I don't have the plastic on it, but I'm gonna check the size. Yes, it does. It looks like it'll fit. So now I can make my artwork. For our collage, you can do lots of different things. You could do something that's connected to winter, the holidays. You could do just random shapes and designs. So one thing that I want to show you, though, I already showed you how to cut paper by folding, right? I think I might make a little pine tree for mine. So if you want to, you can cut your pine tree out. So you could draw it first if you wanted to, by drawing like a triangle, and then start in the middle of that triangle and draw another triangle, and then start in the middle of that triangle and draw another triangle. And that could be a nice tree. Here, I'm going to cut that out real quick. So then if I flip it over, I have my tree and you can't see my lines. So I have a nice tree. But maybe you do your tree differently. Maybe you want to do your tree just a big triangle. Which, did you notice that when I cut out my tree, I kind of put it on the side of my paper instead of right in the middle? That way I still have all this paper I can still use. So I'm going to cut just a triangle. And maybe that could be a pine tree too. It doesn't have to look like that. Or if I don't have scissors, or if I want to try and do something a little bit more a little bit more of like a natural edge, I could try to actually rip a Christmas tree, or a winter tree, I should say, a pine tree out. There we go, look, that's a little skinny pine tree. Remember to keep your studio space clean. So when you're all done with your collage, you might have lots of little itty bitty pieces of paper like this. Sometimes what can be helpful is if you set another piece of paper off to the side and you put your scraps on that paper. Then when it's time to clean up, you can just pick up this big sheet of paper and then you can slide your stuff into the garbage or the recycling. Okay, so that's one thing, is you can tear your paper to get a different look, or you can cut it to get a different look. So I'm gonna think about what else I wanna do to this. I'm gonna make a trunk for my tree. There we go. So then, see, I didn't glue anything down yet because I might wanna put this underneath my tree instead of on top of my tree, right? I'm gonna do it that way. And then I think I might want some like snow on the bottom of this picture. So I have some white paper here. And I want my snow to look kind of ruffly, so I think I'm actually gonna tear it instead of cutting it. And then my snow will go underneath like that. And there's my trunk of my tree, and there's my tree. Oh, this is looking pretty good. Maybe I want a snowman over here. So I'm gonna tear a circle off. Tear another one, and sometimes if you tear it, you might have to go back and tear other little itty bitty pieces off just to get it the right shape. Here, that's a good middle part there. It's not a perfect circle, but you know what? Most of the time, snowmen are kind of lumpy anyway. All right, here's a head. Yeah, that's a good snowman. Or snow woman, or snow child. I haven't really figured that out yet. Now let's do a carrot for the nose. Looking good. Oh, that's a big nose. Yeah, I'll stick with it. It makes me laugh. I like it. And maybe we'll do some itty bitty little things here for buttons or coal or however, rocks, however you make your snowmen. Got these little pieces here. Okay. So once I feel like I've kind of got how I want it to look, I should say, you can start to glue things down. Oh, I need to get his stick arms too, but I'll get to that. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue things down now. All right, once you get to this point, you can call it done, or the cool thing about these frames is that you can see something on the front and on the back. So when it's all dry, like I still have some chunks of glue here, I could decorate the back. But I guess I should point something out real quick. I am noticing that this snow on either side is sticking off, and that's not gonna fit in my frame. And same with his little arm. So I'm gonna just go ahead and trim those off. If you don't have scissors, you just have to carefully cut that part off. Or I mean, rip that part off. There we go. Okay, so I made my 2 collages. I have this one on this side and I have this one on this side. And when I'm ready to put it in my frame, I think what will be very helpful is using these plastic pieces. Hopefully all of your frames came with these plastic pieces. If you don't, you might have to have an adult help you. But if you have these 2 plastic pieces, you can kind of sandwich your artwork like this. All right, so that it's shiny and covered on both sides. And that'll help all these little pieces that you glued down not get caught as you slide it into the frame. So now we're gonna try and slide it into the frame. And this might be tricky. You might need some adult help with this. But maybe you can figure it out on your own. If it seems like it's too big, you might have to trim the sides a little bit. I think I got mine. And then I'm gonna try and slide it down in there. Voila, it's beautiful. Look at my artwork in a frame. Artwork always pops once you put a frame around it, I think. Looks really nice. So now you have like a nice little art piece that you can have. And the cool thing about this is if you want to change it up, you can. You can slide it out and put a different art piece in there. It just has to be this size, that 4 inches by 6 inches, and then it can fit in there really well. So let's talk about cleanup, because your family does not want to clean up all these little scrappy doos that you made. So you got to clean up after yourself. Your glue, it's going to get ruined if you don't put the cap back on. So remember to put the cap back on real tight, and then you can put it back in your Ziploc bag. And then remember these little scraps I told you about? If you don't think you're going to use them again, like if they're too little and you're just like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to use these at all. I'm going to put them on a big sheet of paper. Hey, come here. And I'm going to carefully carry them. You can even kind of fold it up a little bit and carry them and then put them in the garbage, okay? Or the recycling. And then all of your other papers, so if you have any bigger sheets that you think, yeah, I might use that in the future, you can put those back in your Ziploc bag as well. Part of being an artist is taking care of your workspace, taking care of your studio. All right, slide all of my stuff back in there. And I've got my collage kit and I've got my artwork that I made. I hope you have lots of fun with this project this week.